Penguin Audio presents The Heights by Peter Hedges. Read by Peter Hedges, Amy Ryan, and Allison Pill. The list of those who have descended from the heights is long, and only a few need be mentioned. John Kenneth Galbraith. One.
Kate. That morning we woke to find our street buried in snow. The stoops, the sidewalk, the row of parked cars were a blanket of white. The trees looked as if they'd been dipped in frosting, and the whole of Oak Lane, with its impeccably preserved century-old brownstones, had the look of a vintage photograph. Only the loud scrape from an approaching snowplow betrayed what Tim, my history-teaching husband, would like to believe. Erase the plow, remove the light poles and the telephone wires, toss out all electrical appliances, and it could be any other Brooklyn Heights morning, circa 1848 or 1902. Staring down from our fourth-floor apartment, I made out the faint prints from Tim's boots. Before sunrise, he crossed between two parked cars and trudged with his backpack full of graded papers toward Montague Street, where he climbed the steps to the Montague Academy. During the night, the thick flakes had fallen gently, but now it was morning, and the wind blew in gusts that rattled the windows of the living room/dining room/toy room where I was standing. I felt a chill. Sam came running down the hall, his diaperless pants at his knees, crying, "Mommy, pee-pee, pee-pee." Teddy, newly 4, followed, saying, "Sam made a mess." Minutes before, I'd abruptly left the kitchen because between the repeated calls of, "More milk, Mommy," and "I'm hungry, Mommy," and "Mommy, Sam's hitting me," I knew either they'd stop as asked or I would snap. With few places to look, it took no time for them to find me. Teddy had been up early due to a bad dream, and Sam had eaten hardly any breakfast, feeding himself only the brightly colored mini marshmallows from his favorite sugared cereal. "This will not do," I announced grandly, but of course it would. It did. When Tim phoned from school, I had a shout over Sam, who was shrieking, while Teddy kept pushing the button that made the phone go on speaker. Tim asked, "How's it going?" More out of habit, I suppose, because one little moment of listening, and he'd know. "Good, it's going good," I said, choosing not to tell him about a mysterious smell in the bathroom. The toilet was clogged and would not flush. The bar of oatmeal soap half melted in the empty bathtub, the growing stack of unpaid bills, the clothes strewn, a Hansel and Gretel trail of little boys' pants and shirts and underwear, and how when I finally made it to the sock drawer to finish dressing Sam, no socks matched. I made no mention of how the winter wind was sure to shatter our front windows, nor my prediction that this was going to be the coldest day of the year. After all, Tim was hard at work. Better to spare him. Later in the vestibule of our building, I managed to open the stroller and carry it down the stoop, all the while coaxing the boys to follow. I belted Sam in, lowered Teddy so he could ride standing in back, and we began our walk. Both boys were practically smothered under sweaters and coats and scarves and hats, gloves, boots. Only their eyes could be seen. Beneath it all, I could hear them crying, and when I leaned forward to ask what was the matter, Teddy sobbed, "My eyes are cold." "I don't know what to do about your eyes," I said. Never enough, a parent can never ever do enough. I had the makings of a song. Gloveless, scarfless, and with my down jacket still unbuttoned up top, I'd forgotten about me. Soon after we set off, it became clear that because of the snow, our stroller wasn't going to work. So with the wind whipping and the need to think fast, I turned us around. Back home, I left the stroller in the vestibule and hurried to our storage closet in the basement to fetch Tim's childhood sled. Outside, I wrapped the boys in an old blue blanket, set them on the sled, and pulled them behind me. We were halfway down Hick Street before I noticed other parents dragging their kids by the wrists, slipping and sliding or struggling with strollers. Men and women dressed for work leaned into the wind as they headed toward the subway station on Clark Street, stepping gingerly, hoping not to fall. And here I came, pulling Teddy and Sam, the only children in the Heights, riding to school on a sled. Glancing back, I could see them squinting in the way that comes only when they're smiling.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?